everything that you probably will come up, I've gone through at my own company. You can't have 7 clinics and not have that be a daily invitation, you know. And this is where I led to, you know, blame is a large word for a lot of different ways to look at that. I had a lady working for me one time at the front desk, and she was not qualified on her resume, but she had a heart. And she was the person that I wanted people in anxiety to first see when she came through the door, okay? And so we figured, well, we'll teach her the content. The content is easy. The job description is easy. And what we noticed is that, and this is where, I mean, I wish I could tell you I sat down and in my wise guru mind, I figured this all out overnight. No, I observed. And I observed people who were doing what it was that I needed to have done. They're not cause to the problem, but cause to the solution, because the same kind of thinking that caused the problem will not solve the problem. You've got to have a different kind of thinking. So the people in charge must cultivate, and I don't know in your situation who that might be. Do you have a management position in this, or?
No, but I have a very strong thought process that whether you're a manager or not, all of us have a leader inside of us.
That's right.
And it's what we do every day with those actions that others will emulate if you continue to do it.
Well, you just answered your own question. Because this lady that I talked to, I said, look, there's a magic about you. People just come around you, and I noticed that there's nobody gossiping right now. I noticed that people are requesting you. You know, they want you to be in their presence. I said, how do you do it? She goes, I find that place, this is where gratitude, I find that place to be grateful that that person's in front of me. It's an opportunity for me to make that person a brighter day. And that's where these policies came from. Now, she was like just a new hire. She was no management, nothing. But she became one of my top managers of that front office. In fact, she helped me open up 3 other offices, and I put her in training of the rapport of our organization. Now, that had nothing to do with dentistry, no more than the things that you're talking about has to do with banking, right? We're talking about ego, E-G-O. You've heard of that, right? That's that little voice in your head. It speaks in behalf of the programming down below the surface. E-G-O stands for edge God out, okay? So with that being said, I put her in charge of that department. What do? The only thing that I know that you could do is demonstrate what it is that you want in the baby steps. That's why I said you do what's next. You do only what you can do next by demonstrating the next thing that comes out of your mouth. You change it with the little baby steps. That's about all I know how I could tell you to do without actually coming in. What we did at Boeing is we got together groups of people, and we actually had synergy groups. And we got to say, okay, what idea do you have? Let's focus on, we go 5% problem, 95% solution. And when you get people changed to the solution mode, something magical happens. The blame tends to go dissipated and the creation goes up. Because the antidote to blame is create. When you get people together and say, okay, we know this part doesn't work. How do we fix it? What's your idea? What's your idea? And we ruled out that there was anything wrong with the bad answer. There's no such thing. Because one of the most illogical things you could do is say, well, that won't work because. It's the biggest kiss of death to creativity. One thing that we had, and we still have it today, is a big goldfish bowl. We call it the Ben Franklin bowl in our lounge. What's that? Because we had a problem when people felt bad when problems happened. They made mistakes. So I said, I want people to feel that mistakes are learning experiences, so we don't invite blame and gossip when they have learning experiences. And I said to them, I want you to put down whatever mistake you made on one side of this index card. And then on the other side, write down what you learned from it and how it's going to benefit the company, your department, the person sitting next to you. And put it in the goldfish bowl. At the end of the month, my partner and I would go and look at all of them. We'd say the most profound one got themselves a Ben Franklin, a $100 bill. So it changed overnight people's perception of the things that would stimulate this. So that was an idea that we had, and it worked. We've done it for 25 years. I go into my offices now. I have 3 offices left. I go into them now. I have this goldfish bowl, and there's like maybe 50 of those cards in there. And they don't do it because they want the $100. They do it because they know what it does to the environment. So invite creativity. We have synergy groups, we have creative groups, and we say, and don't be afraid to talk about the nature of the problem without making anybody wrong. Because blame is a way of making people wrong. That's why I say responsibility is key. Hi, if you really like that video, please subscribe. That way you can get notifications of future videos I'm excited to share with you. Also, feel free to comment below. I get a lot of the subject matter from you, so I can address the topics that you want to hear the most about. And if you want to know more about our live events, go to my website listed below. Looking forward to meeting you in person.